If you're thinking about setting up an aquarium or you already have one and the water just isn't looking crystal clear, choosing the right filter can make the difference between an ecosystem that runs itself and one that gives you headaches every week. Not all filters are created equal. You've got external canisters, internal filters, hang-on back models, and each one has its strengths depending on your tank, the species you keep, and how hands-off you want maintenance to be. I've gone through 7 of the best aquarium filters available in Europe right now so you can make a fully informed decision. All the product links are down in the description, so check them out whenever you're ready. Let's dive in. We're kicking things off with a true classic. The Eheim Classic 250, also known as the 2213, is one of those external filters that has been on the market for decades and still stands as an absolute benchmark. Its design is a sealed cylinder with no internal modular baskets. Water enters from the bottom, rises through all the filter media, and exits through the head unit. This unidirectional flow virtually eliminates bypass, that common flaw in modern filters where dirty water sneaks around the edges without being treated. The motor is genuinely legendary, with users reporting units running for over 15 years without needing a single replacement part. And the silence is remarkable. Once you've purged the air after the first setup, you barely notice it's on, which is perfect if your tank sits in the bedroom. It doesn't have a self-priming system, so the first time you'll need to siphon it manually, which can feel a bit daunting at first, but once you get the hang of it, the whole thing becomes second nature. Key tip: pop your bioceramics into nylon mesh bags with zip closures and make sure you buy the Plus version with the double tap connectors, because without them, maintenance turns into a messy ordeal you'd rather avoid. Moving on to something considerably more refined. The Oase Biomaster Thermo 250 plays in the premium league and has a trick up its sleeve that aquascaping enthusiasts love. It comes with an integrated heater built into the canister body. Forget about that glass heater dangling inside your tank ruining the aesthetic. On top of that, because the water is heated as it passes through the filtration chamber, the thermal distribution across your tank is perfectly uniform with no cold spots. The Easy Clean module pulls out from the top without dismantling anything or stopping the circulation, so rinsing out the sponges takes just a few minutes. Compared to the Eheim, the Oase is leagues ahead in terms of maintenance convenience, though the Eheim edges it out on long-term simplicity and reliability. Bear in mind that the nominal flow rate drops quite noticeably once you load it up with dense biological media, so the smart move is to size up. If your tank is around 100 liters, go straight for the 350 model. Now we're stepping into completely different territory in size, but not in importance. Picture a 20-liter tank full of little red Neocaridina shrimp peacefully grazing on the surface of a sponge while newly hatched babies feed on the biofilm growing across it. That is the domain of the Aquael Pat Mini, a tiny internal filter that has become the absolute favorite among invertebrate breeders. Its turbine pushes 400 liters per hour while consuming just 4 watts, a power-to-efficiency ratio that rivals filters 3 times its size. The front slider lets you fine-tune the flow with precision for species that need calm waters. Here's the essential trick: the factory sponge has pores that are too wide, and baby shrimp can slip through towards the impeller, so experienced keepers ditch it from day one and attach fine-pore double-density sponges instead. With that single modification, you go from a decent filter to a professional-grade biological filtration system for next to nothing. Time to bring in a heavyweight of external filtration. The JBL CristalProfi E702 Green Line is the option I'd recommend without hesitation for densely stocked community tanks. Its internal volume of 6.1 liters is enormous, allowing you to pack in a massive amount of porous ceramic media for nitrifying bacteria. Pushing 700 liters per hour through all of that while consuming just 9 watts is a feat of energy efficiency. Compared to the Oase, the JBL has a clear advantage in biological filtration volume, though the Oase wins on aesthetics and the convenience of its integrated heater. JBL completely redesigned the upper distribution plate from the previous model, doubling the pre-filter surface to eliminate the bypass leaks that caused so many issues. It's got a priming button on the head unit so there's no sucking on hoses, and the fold-out side handles are a detail you only appreciate when you're hauling a wet cylinder weighing over 10 kilos out of a cabinet. The gray matte plastic might not win any beauty contests, but this filter isn't about looks, it's about pure performance. We're heading back into internal filters with one that rewrites the rulebook. The Fluval U2 has a 3-phase flow selector that is genuinely brilliant. The top position breaks the surface biofilm and oxygenates, the bottom sweeps debris off the substrate, and the center activates a vertical spray bar that diffuses the water without any turbulence. Imagine a paludarium with barely 10 centimeters of water and a turtle splashing about. The the Fluval U2 works perfectly on its side, something most filters couldn't dream of doing. It's also ideal for bettas or tiny reservoirs that exhaust themselves fighting strong currents. The flip-top lid gives you access to the cartridges without dismantling anything, and the motor is extraordinarily quiet. One important note: forget about the brand's activated carbon cartridges, they're an unnecessary recurring expense. Fill that space with porous biological media or washable filter floss instead, and you turn the filter into a self-sufficient unit with no monthly costs. Switching categories now because it's time to talk about hang-on back filters. The Seachem Tidal 35 was born from the collaboration between Seachem and Italian pump engineers Seachem with one clear mission: to fix the flaws of traditional waterfall filters. The masterstroke is that the motor sits submerged inside the aquarium rather than outside. This gives it full self-priming capability, and, best of all, if you suffer a power cut, the filter restarts on its own the moment electricity comes back. Conventional hang-on back filters lose their siphon with every outage, and the motor can burn out running dry, something that simply doesn't happen here. The media basket is generous and lets you stack thick layers of biological matrices and resins without restrictions. The surface skimmer pulls with considerable force, which is great for clearing oils and biofilm, though it can drag flake food away before the fish get to it. The fix is straightforward. Wedge a block of sponge into the rear slot to tame that suction without losing flow. And we're rounding things off with a surprise that proves budget doesn't have to mean compromise. The Nicrew Magi 700 pushes 700 liters per hour, matching the JBL external but as a submersible at a fraction of the cost. The transparent spray bar blends in with the water and avoids the visual intrusion of the black bars you find on even high-end models. Where it truly shines is as a mechanical support filter. If you've got cichlids that won't stop digging or a turtle that makes a mess like there's no tomorrow, it creates a cyclonic effect that leaves the water column spotless within hours. It's not designed to be the primary filter because its internal biological volume is limited, but the trick is the same as always. Out with the factory carbon and in with blocks of fine pore sponge cut to size to multiply its performance. So to make your decision clear based on what you need, if you're an aquascaping enthusiast and want zero visible equipment inside the tank, the Oase Biomaster Thermo with its integrated heater is your best bet. If you breed shrimp or keep nanotanks, the Aquael Pat Mini with a fine pore replacement sponge is unbeatable. For bomb-proof reliability and absolute silence over decades, the Eheim Classic 250 is still the undisputed king. If your community tank is packed with fish and you need massive biological filtration, the JBL E702 is the smart choice. For paludariums or fish with delicate fins like bettas, the Fluval U2 solves problems that other filters don't even consider. If you live in an area with frequent power cuts, the Seachem Tidal 35 gives you peace of mind. And if you want a powerful mechanical backup without spending much, the Nicrew Magi 700 more than delivers. All the links are in the description so you can compare at your own pace. If this video helped you out, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss the next roundup. See you in the next one.